Have you ever noticed how the deep silence of your home can seem denser than before? Or how tidying up the same objects day after day brings a strange peace, almost like a refuge from a mental whirlwind that insists on not resting? Maybe you've felt that slight tightness in your chest for no apparent reason, or a shallow breath that doesn't improve even when everything around you is calm. At night, could that longing that comes with the darkness not be just a memory, but a way for your heart to warn you that something needs to be taken care of? Maybe you've noticed that even a glass out of place bothers you more than before, or that your body seems tense, as if it were carrying an invisible weight, even without effort. It's common to feel like your mind won't turn off, that there's a constant vigilance, a vague fear that can't be explained, making it difficult to relax, even when rest is necessary. Maybe the hours in bed bring insomnia, unexpected tears, or that feeling of being out of time, as if your body were present, but your mind was far away. In many cases that I've seen, small changes can transform this reality. For example, the simple act of observing one's own breathing rhythm for a few minutes upon waking has helped many people to relieve tension and prepare for the day with more ease. Or, carefully rearranging objects, almost as a gesture of affection, has calmed spiraling thoughts, creating a sense of security that seemed lost. It is not uncommon to notice that contact with natural light early in the morning soothes that restlessness that arises for no reason, and that small nighttime rituals help the body prepare for a deeper rest, even when the mind insists on remaining alert. If you have ever felt any of these sensations or know someone who experiences days like this, write yes in the comments. Here, every story matters, and sharing this can be the first step towards finding more relief, less rushing, and more care for your days. That tight feeling in your chest when you wake up, or the restlessness that seems to invade the most peaceful moments, is not a sign of weakness or a simple reflection of age. Many believe that these discomforts are part of natural aging, but in fact, they are alerts that the body and mind send when something is out of balance. Ignoring these signals can cause this silent tension to grow, increasingly affecting your well-being. When sleep does not come easily and the mind insists on running repetitive thoughts, what is happening goes beyond tiredness. What you feel is the result of a cycle of worry that the body keeps active, even without realizing it. It is as if the body, as it ages, becomes more sensitive to small, everyday stimuli, transforming simple situations into constant sources of alert. This exaggerated reaction creates a state of permanent vigilance, leaving the person at a level of tension that seems difficult to control. Imagine that your nervous system is like an old radio, one of those that picks up several stations at the same time. When everything is working well, you only listen to the calm music you want. But when anxiety sets in, it's as if the radio is tuned to a constant noise, a buzzing that won't stop, even when you try to turn it off. This internal noise makes your body tense, your breathing becomes tight, and sleep becomes a challenge. What seemed like a simple discomfort turns into a snowball effect. But here's the important part. This cycle can be interrupted. There is a way to calm this internal radio, to find the frequency of calm that your body and mind so desperately need. To do this, you need to recognize what's fueling this feeling and act consciously, taking steps that really make a difference. You're not alone in this, and understanding what's happening is the first step to regaining control. If you've ever felt this tightness or restlessness that won't go away, type 1 in the comments. If you still have questions about what's happening, type 5. And to follow each tip that will help transform this reality, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. We're together on this journey to bring more lightness to your days. We have already seen how the body reveals subtle signs of discomfort, asking for attention before tension sets in. Now it is time to take the first practical step to relieve this weight that seems to accumulate without warning. There is a simple movement which can be done in just 30 seconds, capable of bringing immediate relief to a restless mind and a tight heart. This gesture, when performed, provides a feeling of release and lightness, as if a gentle breeze were passing through the entire body, undoing the invisible knot of anxiety. It does not need to be complicated, just a delicate adjustment that helps restore balance, making room for a moment of calm and acceptance. It is an invitation to reconnect with one's own presence without rushing or demanding. Mental health specialists with extensive experience in caring for mature people confirm the effectiveness of this method. They note that even in isolation, this small act already provides significant relief, creating a secure foundation for other changes. It is a real beginning, a gesture that respects the pace and needs of those who face these challenges daily. Have you ever felt something similar? How about leaving a comment right now? Type, "Today, I allow myself this pause." Your experience could be the comfort someone else needs to take the first step too. Sharing strengthens and humanizes this journey. By allowing this moment of acceptance, you notice the lightness that arises in your body and mind. The sensation is of an internal embrace, which restores control and serenity, even if only for a few moments. It is the rediscovery of your own rhythm, the possibility of walking with more firmness and care. Imagine your body as a garden that has been forgotten for a while. This gesture is like the first rain after a long dry period, silent, delicate, but full of promise. It is the reconnection with your roots, the opportunity to blossom again, an essential step in cultivating the well-being you deserve. You may have noticed a small, almost imperceptible change that carries great significance. It could be that morning when you wake up without feeling suffocated, or the simple fact that you can walk around the room more firmly without the usual weight on your chest. It's as if a slight relief begins to open up inside you, a gentle breeze that announces less turbulent days. This initial sensation of your body's response is an invitation to recognize that something new is emerging, a delicate connection between mind and body that is beginning to be reestablished. It is essential to value each sign, no matter how small it may seem. In the journey of someone who lives with the weight of time and the anxiety that comes with it, even the most subtle progress represents a victory. The body, when listened to with patience and respect, begins a revealing dialogue. It is not a race, but a careful walk where each step counts. This small change indicates that the body is beginning to cooperate, offering clues that emotional balance can be regained with kindness and attention. Imagine your body silently thanking you, as if to say, "Thank you for listening to me, for respecting my limits and taking care of me." This partnership between you and your own being is the foundation for serenity to gradually return. It is a reunion with your essence, a reconnection that brings hope and reinforces the importance of continuous self-care, even in the face of daily challenges. Now, I want to hear from you. Type 1 in the comments if you have already noticed any signs of improvement, or 5 if you feel like you are still at the beginning of this journey. Your participation is very important so that we can build a space of support and understanding together. If this content helped shed light on your process, subscribe to the channel. Each week, we walk side by side, strengthening this support network. Your subscription also helps more people find a lighter and calmer path. As we move forward to the next stage, feel this gentle breeze enveloping your body, bringing the promise of more serene days. Get ready to discover how to deepen this positive response and transform this slight change into a true inner rebirth. Many elderly people report a persistent feeling of restlessness, as if their minds cannot switch off, even after peaceful days. It is common to attribute this discomfort to natural aging, but there is a hidden factor that goes unnoticed and can intensify these symptoms: excessive use of electronic devices, especially at night. Thinking that a few hours in front of the television or cell phone are harmless is a common mistake, but it has a profound impact on emotional balance. When the blue light from these devices invades the environment, it sends a signal to the brain, confusing the biological clock. It is as if the body receives a message saying that it is still daytime, even when night has already set in. This interference alters the natural sleep cycle, preventing the adequate production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep rest. The result is a nervous system that remains alert, as if waiting for an unexpected event, even when there is no reason to worry. This constant state of wakefulness causes an increase in cortisol levels, known as the stress hormone, which keeps the body alert and makes it difficult to recover during rest. It is common for people to experience mental confusion, persistent fatigue, and that uncomfortable feeling of tightness in the chest upon waking. Small noises or unexpected movements can cause shock, highlighting how tense the body remains, even when the mind tries to relax. It is important to recognize that this reaction is not the result of weakness or lack of discipline, but rather a silent consequence of habits that have been incorporated without awareness. Often, the more experienced generation has not received guidance on how to identify these signs or how to adjust routines that favor emotional well-being. This lack of perception can transform what should be a simple rest into a constant battle against one's own body. What if this agitation that sets in at the end of the day is not just a reflection of accumulated fatigue, but rather the signal of micro-alerts that the body keeps silent? This understanding can open doors to a deeper connection with the body's real needs, awakening attention to a care that transcends the obvious. You wake up feeling unexpectedly light, your chest less tight, your mind calmer. But is this relief really the end of your suffering or just a brief respite before the storm? Often, the feeling of sudden improvement is deceiving. It is like crossing a field covered in silent fog, where the ground seems firm, but invisible mines are still lurking. The momentary disappearance of the signs does not mean that the imbalance has been overcome. Anxiety in mature people has its own rhythm, marked by complex cycles that involve body and emotion. The nervous system, accustomed to reacting to constant stress, remains on alert, ready to trigger old patterns of short breathing and restless thoughts. Triggers that have not been addressed remain active, ready to reignite the restlessness at any moment. Understanding this oscillation is essential to not letting yourself get down. Feeling that the symptoms return is not a sign of defeat, but of a process that requires time and persistence. Your body is learning to trust again, and this trust only arises with the gentle and constant repetition of new habits. Each setback is an invitation to embrace yourself with more patience, not a reason to feel guilty. Remember, the path to balance is not measured by isolated moments of calm, but by the daily construction of inner security. Silencing your worries does not always indicate healing. Often, it is a pause that allows you to take a deep breath and choose a different path before the shadows return. Even on the calmest days, many older adults maintain a silent pattern that makes it difficult to make real progress in the search for emotional and physical balance. This subtle, often unnoticed behavior is the repeated avoidance of uncomfortable sensations, such as restlessness in the chest or mental tension that seem too threatening to face. Clinically, this attitude acts as an invisible trap. By avoiding these internal signals, the nervous system remains on constant alert, unable to process and release accumulated stress. It is as if a river that should flow freely is dammed by an invisible dam made of fear and hesitation. Without this release, the body's messages persist, reinforcing the cycle of anxiety and fatigue. Imagine the body as a garden that needs to be watered and tended to regularly. If you ignore the need to prune dead plants, they end up suffocating the others, preventing the garden from fully flourishing. Likewise, when we avoid facing our discomforts, they accumulate and block the renewal necessary for well-being. This emotional pruning is essential for the body to re-establish its natural rhythm. It is important to understand that this pattern is not born of weakness or lack of willpower. The feeling of fear or doubt when facing these emotions is legitimate and is part of the body's self-protection process. There is no blame to be placed on it, as the body has learned to defend itself in this way. The challenge now is to offer a new path where the internal movement has purpose and direction without rushing or excessive pressure. What if the next step was not about avoiding discomfort, but rather teaching your body to recognize that it can trust this change? This is the key that can open doors that were previously blocked, paving the way for the true transformation that is to come. Relief begins to set in, bringing comfort and hope. But it is precisely at this moment that a new emotional tension arises, subtle and treacherous, capable of undermining all the progress made. Many elderly people, upon feeling this improvement, fall into the trap of premature confidence, believing that the process is completely resolved. This feeling leads them to relax their attention to their body's signals, to return to old patterns, and even to expose themselves to stimuli that they are not yet ready to face. It is like coming out of a cold and throwing themselves into the cold wind. On the outside, everything seems fine, but the body remains vulnerable, needing careful protection. This unconscious withdrawal from the practices that maintain balance can cause a relapse, and it is natural to feel frustrated or disappointed when faced with this oscillation. However, it is essential to understand that the momentary absence of symptoms does not represent definitive recovery. It is, rather, an invitation to intensify vigilance and maintain a commitment to well-being. Your body signals a delicate gap, and what you decide now will determine the next few days. Therefore, it is essential to cultivate an active prevention mindset, viewing the period without discomfort as an opportunity to consolidate stability and not as the end of the journey. Imagine a wound that has just healed. Although it appears to be healed, the bandage remains because there is still fragility beneath the surface. This is the process of emotional renewal. It requires continuous attention and respect for its rhythms. It is at this point that the true difference between temporary relief and lasting transformation begins to reveal itself. If you've made it this far, it's because you've chosen to listen to what your body is trying to tell you before the discomfort becomes unbearable. This journey isn't just about relief. It's about recognizing the strength that lies in each step you take towards serenity. Imagine the tight feeling in your chest as a flashlight in the darkness. It's not there to punish, but to illuminate the path that needs to be adjusted. This discomfort, silent it is, in fact, an invitation to reorganize your inner story, awakening the calm that has always been within you. On days when the discomfort goes away, a conscious attitude makes all the difference. Taking care of yourself gently, maintaining practices that nourish the mind and body, creates a firm foundation so that restlessness does not return. What you do in these moments of peace is what strengthens the days to come. If you felt that this message touched your heart, comment "serenity" to share this desire for a new beginning, and tell me. Type 1 if you have already noticed your mind trying to show you something important, or 5 if you still feel that these sensations are a difficult obstacle to overcome. Remember, sometimes a simple gesture of care is enough for your entire body to trust in time and change again. True transformation happens when we allow the gentleness of the present to regain our inner balance. You may have begun this journey feeling trapped in a whirlwind of concerns, with a tight chest and a restless mind. Now, at the end of this path, your gaze has changed, more serene, more attentive to the subtle pulse of your own body. Your body speaks every day, even when the noise of your mind tries to silence it. Today, you have found the space to listen to it calmly, to welcome each sensation without rushing or judging. There are no magic formulas. There is only a patient and loving reconnection with who you are, a daily encounter of listening and presence. What your body has always asked for is partnership, a gentle gesture that respects time and internal cycles. Imagine yourself now as a tree that, after the harsh winter, feels the light breeze announcing rebirth. Its still green leaves hold the memory of storms, but with each new day, they open to the light, trusting in the rhythm of nature. This is what this process is like, an invitation to trust in time, to allow the gentleness of the present to regain the lost balance. It's not about rushing healing, but about recognizing that inner silence is a seed ready to blossom. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who also needs this silent embrace. And if you want to continue this journey of reconnection, sign up. Here, every word is a refuge, and you will never be alone on this path of care and rebirth.